Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. I like to keep it colorful. You guys ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's
go.
Yow. Welcome back, Secret House against Tokyo-based hip-hop art and culture conversations. You guys recognize the fam crew right here. We're having a good time today. I didn't get no drinks or nothing. We just came in and just fucking started. But today we're, as you can see in the title, we're discussing the new Pink Siifu album. Black Antique is 19 songs in like an hour and 70.
It's a whole football team worth of motherfuckers
88.
on this damn project.
Yeah, bro. Like
offense and defense.
Now there's probably like 100. Can you imagine the sheer number of people if they were all in one room performing his albums? Like,
oh yeah,
the album is wild and we'll get into it. But it features so many collaborators that I don't know half of the folks, and the folks that I do know, it's still crazy. Like, I hit up Sharif did like Fatboy Sharif did like 3 tracks. We've got Blackie on there, Roper Williams, Apollo Rome, Liv, Too Rich, Benji, Horror, fucking Baby Mother, like
Regina.
Fucking Big
Jack
Rube.
Davey.
It is insane. But for people that don't know, Pink Siifu is like a producer, MC, artist, poet, rapper, all that, like a real Renaissance man type of person from Birmingham, Alabama, and Cincinnati, Ohio. We've discussed 2 of his projects on the show before. Right. We discussed 2021's Gumbo and 2023 Leather Boulevard that he did with Ali, right. And under the name of Be Kool-Aid. And with an artist like Pink Siifu, it's a little difficult to be like, this is Pink Siifu. This is the album. Like Gumbo is just like a part of who he is as a person, and he's got like punk albums, and it's really it all really kind of culminates here into this like massive project. So how do you know Pink Siifu?
Well, my first Pink Siifu venture was probably listening to a couple tracks with him and Fly Anakin.
Okay.
And
no doubt.
Yeah. So that's how I came to know him. But I was like, okay, this is crazy.
He's collab with everybody. The like we're homies with Devin Morrison. Devin Morrison used to be out here, and he's our people. And he was on the Be Kool-Aid album. That's and right, shit. Yeah. So he's always working and rocking with like some of the most talented and interesting cats in the underground kind of independent hip hop ecosystem, so to speak. But I feel like with this album, this is really wild, man. Like I've listened to the album. How many times did y'all listen to the album? I've listened to it probably like 5 times, 6 times,
maybe like 4 times. Yeah.
I've given it 3 times solid, but I'm still like kind of stuck on like the album imagery, right? Like, I love the album cover. But where he's sitting is what's actually interesting to me on the album cover, because if you look at the rule of thirds when you're taking a picture, he's right in the middle, but he's hitting all the corners too. Yeah. But if you look at it like that, I felt like in this project he was rapping it sounded like he was rapping in a megaphone. And maybe that's like the whole coaching experience to get everybody lined up to get the job done. But I really like the way the
cover is dope, because and then it's like it's black and white, right? Yeah, but he's wearing all black, and it's such a black texture that you can't really make out as like, what I mean? It's like it looks like just like a black mass in there, and everything else is like
he's in a corner. He's in like the corner of the room, but then the doors and the windows are open. Yeah. And like there's visibly an open door and an open window on either side of him, and I'm sure like that's also kind of very applicable to like even when Siifu's like backed into a corner, like there's always something else. There's always some other opening, some other entrance.
A whole lot of something else.
There's like with this album, I feel like there's an impulse to kind of project into it as like every single thing about it feels extremely intentional, very artsy, and you almost want to deconstruct it as like some fucking ethnographer. Like, what is really going on? You don't want to you want to do some real wild shit. You know what I mean? Like what did Dre say? He's like, you are about to be introduced to the power of street knowledge, street knowledge or some shit.
Some proclamation.
And like I don't on Secret House we don't deconstruct so much as we just kind of like talk about where it might relate historically or all these things. And that's one of the most special aspects about this album, is that there's such a tremendous amalgam of different elements of blackness, particularly like American blackness. There's all these regional elements of blackness on this shit and that's what's interesting about the title, Black Antique. And antique is something that is like old,
and
rare,
valuable.
and value,
too,
right? And
an heirloom.
What's crazy to think about as a black antique is he's pulling from all these things of blackness, but somehow this black antique feels extremely new. I don't like Pink Siifu is like a magical type of like.
Okay,
I don't know if I could ever.
Slick. That was good. I give you that. That was slick.
I don't know if I could ever like. We're black folks, right?
Yeah.
But we're all different types of black folks.
Yes.
Like you black Jamaican and French from the UK. You
black
deep
and
country fried. You know what I mean?
Cherokee Indian.
Yeah.
Creek Indian,
And I'm a black Seminole Filipino cat from the West Coast. But on this album, we can hear like all of these different aspects that we're familiar with sonically, but Pink Siifu is like a brand new thing here. Even though he's doing that, he should be on the cover of like National Geographic for like the future of mankind. Bro, I've never heard anything like this before.
Sonically, this is Afrofuturism.
This is very like it's like a More Mother project where
Yes,
there's something
absolutely.
about it that is so almost like metaphysically black, like inherently existentially like ontologically black as fuck.
It's
And-
good not
and
to
it's-
be in that one box.
right.
It's so refreshing not to be in the one box.
It's a great reminder that like blackness is not a monolith, but there are these through lines that connect with us on so many levels of just our sonic experiences. I the last time I had this sensation to an album was probably, and of course there's been so many albums since then that give me, like Aethiopes is like the first time hearing I was blown away by its blackness, so like all types of shit like that. But the last time I really had a sensation like this was the first time I listened to Pimp a Butterfly. And it's radical black art. It's a full-length album of like cinematic scope, pulling from the cornerstones of all this American Negrodom. You know what I mean? Like, but the shit don't start like, on the Pimp a Butterfly, it's like every nigga is a star. It don't start with that. It starts with vibration and like cacophony and rumbling and it's disorientating.
And those first 4 or 5 tracks are all like very abrasive and heavy, and like you have all these features that are coming with all of these different angles. But I mean, you got Blackie, all caps with spaces on there.
Yeah.
The noise
and
god
horror,
from Houston,
like
horror. Yeah, it's like
it
feels like it's explosive just as it is celebratory. Horrifying in that kind of like horror movie kind of way.
But it's also like there's like this. I don't want to get fucking fancy with it or whatever, but there's like a deep blackness, and in his lyrics, like on Kendrick's album, there's an element of it that is like, conscious rap. You know what I mean? To use that term. But this album it has those type of elements, but it's never as pronounced as like. It's more or less like this is a black experience, but on the first track, he's like, can a nigga talk shit?
Yeah.
Can a nigga talk?
Oh, yeah.
And it's very simple, but it comes from that radical black tradition of just like the expression is a radical act. And this is like, before even drums come in, people always say like, the cornerstone of blackness is remembering, it's that like griot, the oral tradition of remembering shit, but we always feel connected to the drum.
Yes.
And this shit, if you played it in a car, you're going to feel the vibration, but it's not from counting drums. And like I had a lot more notes about this, but I deleted them mostly all because the homie Dylan Green, who's a friend of the show,
Cinema
Sai, who's a tremendous writer. He wrote on the Hearing Things website, Pink Siifu and 454 are reimagining the Statement rap album. And he just has so many great aspects of him kind of, reading into this. And listening to him, it's like, wow, this connects on such a different way for so many people. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it connects
and maybe even disconnect.
No doubt. My nephew Rock, he won't really fuck with this album like that.
Yeah, I can tell.
He won't really fuck with it a lot. But he is street cat like that. You know what I mean? Like he like a rapper. Like he don't really. We grew up on the West, and he grew up in Texas, and so he'll fuck with like that DJ Screw kind of tribute or whatever.
Right.
But it's also a part of the album that I find incredible, is because that kind of that blackness, right? This album reminds me of visiting my family in different regions of the United States.
Very good point.
You know what I mean? Like you feel like, oh, this is my people, but then it's like, why are their pants starched like that? Why their pants got so much starch? I remember when I went to Florida for the first time when I was like 12 years old, and I was meeting my dad's cousins and brothers and sisters, and they was super country to me, and they thought like, whoa, you weird, bro. You know what I mean? Because I was West Coast, and it was like, you be breaking this shit, and I'm just like, what are y'all listening to? He's like, oh, this is DJ Jam Pony, and I'm like, what is this? You know, but you feel that connection, but it also feels like you walking into something that you're not familiar with, but you feel like comfortable with.
It's a testament to how elegantly this album ties all of these things together, because one second you have like a trunk rattler southern hip hop banger, and then you have some weird experimental, like, you know, even proggy type things. The album's very proggy, right? You know, it's large, it's ambitious.
You get hints of punk
and then
music.
you get some punk, and then you get some Jersey beat, like, and it does all of those things, and it doesn't lose its cohesion in the process. You know, the album feels like it's threatening to fall apart at any moment, and then it never does. It, you know, lands it perfectly every time.
It's so strange and undulating the way, like, I don't know, I say about 30 minutes into the album, I thought, it must be almost done, because I'm not looking at the track listing as happening. The tracks are coming in, there's field recordings, there's vocal samples, the beat switches and changes, and all these different
dramatic changes.
People coming in and going out, and so many different ideas. And they're all just, it seems extremely avant-garde the way that he was able to link some of these things together.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, I'm actually just gonna, I'm a freak it, and shout out to the homie Soul Dope 95. I used to play him all the time in the background, and I kind of been neglecting it, but he's always super dope. So if you like those beats in the background, Soul Dope 95, real dope cat from Cali. And hold on, I'm gonna bring up this Pink Siifu shit, because I think it's kind of, you know, one of the reasons I didn't write a lot of notes is because I started to find it pretty fucking futile. I was just like, I could listen to this one track and pick apart so many different things about it. We'll be talking for 3 hours. And also, this album, I feel like it's going to just keep on showing me new things and bringing in new things. That it's just like, it starts off, you know, by the time you get to Fucked Up Bezel and it becomes more rap.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it goes into something that's not like, I don't, bro, Fucked Up Bezel was, I've listened to the album in full several times, but there's been a few songs that I played probably like 30 times each already.
Right.
Like, this shit is so catchy and stuck in my head. Like, listen to, like, I also feel like this album, it needs to be played aloud. Like, I want to sit in a place with some speakers where the vibration, I feel like that shit is going to, you know, I don't know who Conquest, Tony Phillips, I know Baby Mother, but there's so many people on this shit that it's just like,
he like assembled like special teams and like, all right, we're gonna make this song, we're gonna make this song, y'all get on this is what I want to do, this is how we're gonna get it
again
done.
like,
shout out to the scammers.
I mean, so much, because it was true with the Be Kool-Aid as well. So many of Pink Siifu's albums feel like a kickback with like
a function.
20 of the function with 20 of the dopest people, you know, and it's like, people are very different, you know, fucking you know, if I pull up the track list, like Monte Booker and Blackie, all caps with spaces, are in very, very different pockets. But at the same time, Siifu is able to bring these people together in a way that makes it all cohesive.
If you ever listen to Fat Boy Sharif, it's like, that's a very strange collaboration, but it also makes perfect sense.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that is like also really magical about this album is how fucking well sequenced and how well it flows together. It really truly is like an experience album. And that's why I kind of think like maybe that's why I threw it to the Pimp a Butterfly, because when I heard that I was like, yo, Kendrick, you know, Good Kid Mad City was like an experience album, but it was also like track bangers and shit, right? With To Pimp a Butterfly, he was pulling from like West Coast. It was like a real West Coast vibe. Even he's doing the jazz kind of spoken double time shit. That's like Project Blow. That's like, you know what I mean? But this album is like, you hear so many elements that just like,
This is all over the American diaspora. This is every corner of the United States, every hood, every farm. If you black, he put that sound into this project, which I think is great. But it's really amazing because like Fucked Up Bezel is one of my new bangers now. I had it just got on me.
Yeah,
it just got on me. It's like, okay, cool. This is what we doing.
Bandana hood. Yeah. This shit, I am not politically correct, and it's just like none of it is. If you listen to the lyrics, there's not. I mean, aside from like Big Rube, who is just.
Yeah, we talked about this.
An absolute genius. Again, he was like the first. I think that was the first poem that I remembered. Like, you know, on the first spoken word poem from AT Aliens. Like, I just found it fascinating, right? And to have him kind of like end the album is just, you know, that's conscious. You know what I mean? Like, I was
really fighting with that before it went out, because before I was just like, wait a minute, that song should have been the first one. Because then it would explain to you what a black antique is. But then I was like, wait a minute. And that defeats the fucking purpose. So he got it right. It should be the last song.
Well, you know, an antique has to travel through time to get to that point where, and it's like, as an antique, man, that shit is like a alchemical jewel at the end of time. Like, it is just.
It took a while for it to be fucking valuable.
Yeah, I just, you know, when you go through this shit, like the V12, right? Like, you've got a lot of field recordings on here, people just saying stuff that you could probably professor your way into, be like, this is actually talking about the black experience and how black people are concentrated in the, you know, the global diaspora, and capitalism has done a number to.
Yeah, but what about that V12 engine?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you could do that bullshit, right? But really, it's also just a cat that's like, y'all could focus on being famous. I'm trying to get this money, and I'm like, all right, but when this shit comes on, I thought it was about to be a break beat.
Right.
I'll be crazy when I'm walking around with this. The lyrics are fucking catchy as fuck, and they're hard, bro. Yeah, they're so fucking hard. Yeah.
So this is such a crazy album, but one of the things, so I was walking around listening to it, and I wasn't, like you said, I wasn't paying attention to the track list. And so when Girls Fall Out the Sky started playing, I was just like, okay, so my Spotify just went to a new album. Yeah. And then I went back, I was like, oh shit, this is still Pink Siifu.
Yeah. I mean, so much of it, I mean, translation is like some Spanish type of beat, you know? So I was like, where is it? What happened here? It just keeps on mixing. And like, if you listen, like, all right, so obviously Screw for Life, right? And Rip, Rip Jalen, you know, it's people, you know, and that Screw sound, I was lucky enough, well, I wasn't lucky, I had to flee Hawaii, and I ended up in Texas for a year trying to, you know, figure it out. But I was there in 2001 and 2002, which is like the rise of Screw this is before Screw went beyond regional. You know, it was just it was like Houston, Texas, and all the way up from Houston to Dallas and maybe San Antonio, I don't know, but you know, everybody was on that, and that's the only shit they cared about. It was like the hyphy movement when I was in the Bay, like the region only cared about that shit. And when you listen to what he's doing with this Screw joint, right, the first half is like jazzy, and then it becomes almost like gospel. You know, it's like real kind of like, and then it turns into him like rapping on some real, like, I don't know, fucking Lil Flip type of shit. You know, I'm an uptown Birmingham country ass, real ass, you know, and he kind of talks like, I'm all of these things. And for anybody, you can relate. Like uptown, yeah, you a country ass motherfucker too. It's like, but it's like, so there's so many beautiful moments on this album, and also so many moments that are so joyous and celebratory, you know, like it's a strange thing. Like and if you like,
I mean, for all of the elements and diaspora the album explores, I do feel like at its core, it is still distinctly a Southern hip hop album.
Oh yeah.
That Southern fried, like bump in the whip, And even that sort of like muddiness, that darkness to it, you know, that like Bayou type sound, like is always there, even when it's not in the foreground.
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
It feels for me. This feels like a direct continuation of that lineage.
For sure, it feels. Yeah, it definitely feels out. You know, I grew up on the West Coast, and on the West Coast, you know, we had the Samoans, the Mexicans, the white, the blacks. But this shit feel like a motherfucker who's only like his school's like 80% black. You know what I mean? Like only grew up around black folks like that. It feel very tied to the Black American South to me, even though Cincinnati, Ohio ain't that. And
I was about to say that there's a lot of Midwest influence in this whole thing.
For sure.
Like once it gets to the ghetto tech and all that, I was like, okay, now we dance.
Okay, you know,
now we dancing.
It's just something about it. Like when I think about like that deep kind of blackness, it always goes back to the South to me, because you know that's like the concentration of black Americans is primarily in the South there, you know, and it's still like, you know, that. But you know, this what is it, another joint like Fordo? That shit is so beautiful. It's like His Smile, and that's produced by Swarvy. You know what I mean? Like the Swarvy Nappy Nina shit. It's like I wasn't expecting so many moments on this. And what do you think about fucking Who You With, Ho? Because I feel like that's a banger for you.
that's definitely a chant. I love it. But like for me, my two favorite tracks on this is Last One Alive and then Face Card.
Okay.
What?
Face Card is hard. If Who You With is a chant, but Face Card is hard.
is also interesting because it's a very like lucidly, like straight up like trap joint compared to the rest of the album, and I think it's the single.
It's that Tennessee. Oh, word! It's got that Tennessee like tear the club up vibe. If you listen to the background, it's so extremely subtle, but you can hear that like that tear the club up. But in the background, you could very faintly hear them say, "Who you with? Oh, who you with?" Well, hold on.
Yeah, you can hear it in the background. This is I'm about to destroy your property.
It's very, very subtle, and it's so like I can't hear it right now, but it's there. Yeah, in my other headphones, I was like, am I mad? Why am I chanting this? And I was like, it's very fucking subliminal.
Very fight music.
Yeah,
you gotta be careful with that kind of music, though. You gotta be really, really careful with that kind of music.
Oh yeah, you know I'm apparently I'm easily influenced because anytime I get around people that's trying to pull a scam or be, you know what I mean, it was like, yo, let's go fight. I was like, all right, yeah, let's, you know what I mean, like I've always been very able to be influenced like that. Like, you know, it wasn't my idea to break into houses. It wasn't my idea to steal cars. And then all of a sudden I was influencing people bad too. I was like, yeah, we about to come up on this candy. This AMPM about to get racked right now. You know, before books had a little RFID chips in them, stealing books. We was stealing everything. Like easy to just, you know, this type of shit. Yeah, face card.
I got no problem with stealing books. I feel like
I mean, I was racking everything. Anything that wasn't nailed down, we was all on it. It got Wi-Fi God on it too. You know, I copied from the Bandcamp because I bought the album before it hit streaming, right? And I copied and pasted it onto my notes, and I was like, oh my God, like this is 50 people on every track.
Yeah,
DJ Harrison is on this. Like, if we started saying the names of the people on an album, we'd probably just be finished right now and then getting into the album really and shit. But man, this one, I don't think that I've done enough like really listening and kind of paying attention to the album to pick up a lot of the nuances in it. But it's really just like my walk away from even my first listen was that this is special.
Oh, yeah,
this is a special album. Yeah. I don't know, man.
This track in particular is in my workout.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. Because this is footwork at its finest. This is like, can you juke? Can you actually move?
See, I don't know much about that scene because I wasn't around there for that. You know what I mean? And I didn't just like tap in and be like, oh, I'm in a fucking DMV shit now. Like I never really tapped in like that. You know, when I see Serena Williams C walking, I'm like, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I
can
fucking
do that.
know that.
I got control.
If somebody's breaking, I know that. You know, and obviously I know, you know, like, you know, 3-6 Mafia, and I was around in different regions to pick up like on Screw and
totally
shit. But
mix this into like a DJ Nate set or DJ Earl set, or you know any of those, even like DJ Assault, someone like that. Like, you know, this album's everywhere.
Yeah, super eclectic. This is like real eclectic Negro dumb. I don't know why I've been liking
like
saying
black
nigger.
You said this is old secret house pull, iridescent blackness.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Them blue black.
Yeah, bro. This is
blue black ninjas.
Yeah, this is new. This is new black. I
we
feel
were
like a
talking
new
about
model
that.
came out, and me and Scott is like, damn, we the old model and shit. Like we old, bro.
We the
like,
old cool.
This is a new type of.
We the old cool ninjas. There's a whole bunch of new cool ninjas out there. That
Can you
y'all gotta get
imagine
with.
like being like 14 and coming across this album and shit? Like just the sheer level of just musicality and just like what it is. It changed your life. This shit is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know what other joints you got. I see you got a little bit more notes here, Scott. 2 minutes in, started goon mobbing.
Yeah. Screw for life. Yeah. 2 minutes in. That's how it started.
VCR and shit. Monty Booker, man.
I think this would be a slick little video. Just because the dance will just get them in.
Yeah, this shit is fire. I don't know. I don't think that I have like the necessary like musical knowledge of all the different of every single type of musical development on this. Like I don't know juke like that. You know what I mean? I don't know footwork like that. But man, I walked away from this shit being like, put this nigga on a new cover of the National Geographic, bro. This is a new human. To me, I was like, this shit is crazy to me.
Like we were like, we're not gonna do an ethnography, but also put this man on the cover of the National Geographic.
Right.
Like that green-eyed woman.
We need
with the headscarf.
Yeah, we gotta. You know how like in them old fucking safari, like the 1940 shit, when like the white people go into
a new type of pygmy Negro.
Yeah, they go into the heart of Africa, and then they have to resort to like the one black. What are the drums saying? Pink Siifu. You can hear the drums in the different. They communicate with drums? What are the drums saying?
He says they're saying, "Who are you with, ho?" I believe that's a type of farming tool.
The girls falling out of the sky. Like what does it all mean? Yeah, I don't fucking know, but bon appetit, man. Like
good stuff.
Yeah, I this is definitely one that I've listened to it, and I still like the last half of the album. I'm still getting there. I'm still like trying to figure it out. But every
80 minutes long. It's dense. It's very long, and it's definitely something that we're gonna have to spend a lot more time thinking about.
It's a good way to start the year.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, definitely read that. That album review discussion from Dylan Green, man, because it is tremendous. He's also talking about 454 and how they're just pushing things to something else. And he's just Dash and Dylan are like my favorite writers.
Oh yeah, that
in hip hop right now. They're so amazing. And this is I should have just read his shit and pretended like it was but fighting through the bad feelings of the 454 experience, which runs the gamut.
Wrong album.
Yeah. Oh. If Siifu is speaking through collage and community-minded collaboration, then Florida. Oh, okay.
Still
I'm so fucking. No, but man, it is such a good writer. I was mad that I read it because a lot of the things that I wanted to say, it's like,
he just did it better.
Credits 13 different producers is a soupy mix of Merzbow indebted noise rock, 808s and synths rattling like gunfire, while Siifu beats his chest in front of the world.
Okay, so why don't you just rap? Rap like that. Just rap.
Yeah, he bombs, man. This shit is amazing. Yeah, just
good
read
shit
that.
Though. Good shit though.
Yeah, just read
Shouts
that.
out to Merzbow.
Yeah, you know, like the slow churn Texas sludge of DJ Screw, and the jazz freakouts of Sun Ra, the southern fried soul of Dungeon Family, and the thundering theatrics of Detroit proto-punk pioneers' death.
I'm glad you read that. I was getting
crazy,
bro.
bro.
A creative as fuck Afro rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's I definitely got that from this album.
Yeah, Sun Ra, man. Like it. Yeah. But peace. Secret House Against
the world.
Yeah.
Secret House Against album reviews.
Yeah.
See you in Discord.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Yeah. Patreon's on the screen and all this. We love you all for the most part.
Politicians in my eyes.
I'm just trying to see.
that the whole recording is gonna have me sniffing in the background.
You good? I'm on that too.
Oh no, is it? Oh shit!
Did you stop? Oh here.
It's yeah, stop that. It's